Alright, if you're into solo leveling, you know one thing for sure. The power hierarchy is everything. You've got your S ranks at the top. They're the legends, the absolute monsters. But what if I told you that's not the end of the story? Today, we're going to dig into a question that might just change how you see the entire power scale.
So, let's just get right to it. Is S rank really the ceiling, the absolute highest a hunter can possibly go? You know, for the longest time, everyone in that world thought so. But the real story? Well, it's a whole lot crazier.
Okay, so let's set the stage. S-rank hunters. We're talking about individuals who are basically walking natural disasters. They're so incredibly powerful that countries treat them like national treasures, almost like royalty. For all intents and purposes, they are the peak of what everyone knows.
But here's the twist. The whole system, everything everyone thought they knew, was completely shattered by one single world-changing event. And this all happened before Sung Jinwoo's journey even got started. This was the moment that redefined what power even meant.
It all kicked off right here, an S-rank gate, the worst-case scenario, the highest-level threat they'd ever seen, popped open in the US. The entire world just held its breath, because what crawled out of that thing was a nightmare beyond imagination.
And the boss of this dungeon? Oh, it wasn't just some big monster. It was Kamish, a dragon so unbelievably massive and powerful that it made even the strongest S ranks on the planet look like, well, nothing. The world had no choice but to try and fight back.
So they did just that. They pulled together the most powerful hunters from all over the globe for what would go down in history as the Kamish Raid. But listen, this wasn't some epic, heroic battle. It was a straight-up massacre. Kamish was so overwhelmingly strong, it was an absolute catastrophe.
Just think about that for a second. We're not talking about a few hunters going down. We're talking about the entire force of the world's best and brightest, almost completely wiped off the map. It was proof that S-rank just wasn't enough. It was a moment of total and utter despair. And right when it looked like it was all over, when humanity was staring failure right in the face, something impossible happened. From the absolute ashes of that disaster, a tiny handful of heroes emerged. Just 5. That's it. Out of the hundreds of elite S ranks who charged into that battle, only 5 managed to survive. And they didn't just survive, they did the impossible. This number, 5, became a legend all on its own.
Now, these 5 weren't just the lucky ones. They were the absolute strongest of the strong, the ones who somehow found a way to push beyond their limits when it mattered most. They did what a whole army couldn't. They killed Kamish. And for that, they got something way bigger than fame. They got a whole new classification.
The Kamish Raid didn't just end with a dead dragon. It fundamentally broke the entire power scale that everyone knew. It was definitive proof that there was something else, something beyond S rank. It created a brand new super exclusive club at the top.
And that, right there, is the answer. The rank above S rank is called the National Level Hunter. But here's the catch. This isn't a rank you can test into or train for. It's a title, an honor, and it was given only to those 5 people who walked through hell and saved the world. And the difference between them? It's staggering. Think of it like this. S ranks are the peak of the system that everyone understands. National level hunters, they're operating on a whole other level. They're so much stronger than your average S rank that you can't even really compare them. They're living, breathing legends.
So there you have it. S-rank isn't the top of the mountain, it's more like the last stop before you enter the stratosphere. The Kamish Raid literally created a new class of power, proving that humans could fight on a scale nobody thought possible. And that really makes you wonder, right? If these 5 reach that insane level through pure survival, what happens when someone comes along who can just shatter that ceiling all by themselves? Now that is something to think about.